we are 2 days to the NBA season. Let's just get right into it, man. Victor Wembanyama, debut, 19 points. I think he had like 5 rebounds. I don't have the exact stat in front of me. It was a long night, so forgive me on the actual stats. But what is some of y'all like initial thoughts? Were you able to actually watch it? I know me and Pat at the Clippers game, but I did have the game up in the press box while it was going on. What are some of you guys like initial thoughts to what you've seen from Wemby so far?
I mean, I think he's, as advertised, it was just unfortunate he got in foul trouble. The game, it was fluid. I think there was never a point where he ever really looked lost. I think, offensively, he really got knocked off his rhythm because he got in the foul trouble and had to sit down. But you see in that fourth quarter, when I think they put him in when there was about like 7 minutes left, like he really turned up for the rest of the game. And so, the things we talked about on defense, we saw that, at the end of the game, he was guarding Kyrie, the last few possessions, you feel me? So him being that type of player that you can put on somebody, best offensive weapon, I'll say Luka, of course. But just, I think so far it was as advertised. And, it's, I think it's only 2 games in. But as he continues to get more comfortable and continues to get into the flow of the NBA game, I think we're going to see him really take off.
Yeah, so like Scott mentioned, we were both at the Clippers game. So I didn't get a chance to say that. By the way, I want to say this. I thought the Blazers were going to be good. They're going to be one of the worst teams in basketball. They're one of the worst teams in the National Basketball Association. But Wemby, again, I saw highlights. I mean, like Dante said, he was as advertised. Like he played good. He just looks fluid out there on the court. Defensively, he's the man 7, what, 4, 5, 7, whatever he is, and he's mobile. His jump shot looks fluid. You pretty much can't contest it at all. And I think the biggest thing with him is the other people on the team got to get out his way.
Yeah.
Like everybody else got to be like, bro, like here's the ball. Like I know most bigs, you got to do a thing with them, whereas you get them the ball. But Wemby, I mean, with his play style, and with the things that he can do, you don't have to actually get him the ball. You can just give him the ball 26 feet away, as it seems, and he can make things happen. So, yeah, Wemby was as advertised to me.
Yeah, man. From what I saw, first of all, I got to Staples Center way too early. I did that last year. I'm gonna stop doing that shit, really, because they kind of changed like rules up on media. Like we can't be actually on the court anymore. Like we can be like behind the scenes, which is kind of stupid, but whatever. I'm not here to rant about that. So I'm not gonna be coming as early anymore. But I came super early to the game, and so I watched both games that was going on ESPN. And from what I saw from Wemby, man, I've been saying this through the preseason. I think he's going to live up to the hype, and I don't think it's an overreaction. I think the number one thing that I saw is he's got to stay out of foul trouble, which I think, as the season goes on, he'll learn to adjust to how the officials call the games, and he's the next future superstar of this league. So he's not going to get like, superstar calls yet. That I still think he probably a couple years away from, getting the superstar call. But I liked what I saw. He looks very prepared. He didn't look like the game was ahead of him. He didn't look like he was lost. I think, like you just said, Pav, it's about the teammates getting him the basketball. It kind of felt a little bit like during LeBron's rookie year where, you had guys like Carlos Boozer and them thinking that, oh, well, he's here to help us. Like, no, nigga, y'all here to help him. Like, this is not that. This is a different kind of dude. And I think just the atmosphere you saw there. Well, I haven't seen that many people at a Spurs game maybe since the 2014 finals. Like, it's been a long time since you had that kind of hype. And the Spurs actually look like one of those exciting league pass teams. I don't think they're going to be making the play-in or anything like that. But I do think that this gives them something to actually watch. And Wemby looks as advertisement. I think defensively, his first play was a block. Pav talked about that on Monday. Somebody's defensive prowess. So I think it was as good as it probably could have went for a rookie. And I think that this is going to be something to watch the rest of the year. And I think that even overshadowed just how great of a game Luka had because, of Wemby's presence and just how everybody was real focused on him. And I think it was a good first game showing for him.
Yeah, G. And I agree with what y'all said, because there was moments in that game where I was like, why are y'all not just giving this nigga the rock?
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot of people just putting shots up. And don't get me wrong, they do have some nice young players on their team. But at the same time, I think it's going to take some time, but people going to finally realize, no, he really is the guy that they told us he was. And, like, we need to play off of him. And, like, he has the talent to take them to that, to that level. So once they get that in their brain, I'm sure I do like the Pop really just let them play. Like,
It's hard to do though.
like
you can't like he's a guy where like number one, like he's so different than what you would, like, even me, like I'm like, oh well, you 7'5", you should be on the block, you should be more in the paint. I mean, he got other skills. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of just gotta like let him roam and find out what I think even I saw Mike Brown talk about this on the All the Smoke podcast. He was talking about when Braun went off for those 22 points against the Pistons in the conference finals. He was like, sometimes the best coaching is no coaching. Sometimes you got to give some, like when you have a special player, give him the ball and see what happens. And then you as a coach, okay, I saw this. He does this well. He does this well. He does this well. And just react to him. I think at some point in times, this is throughout all sports. I think coaches try to react to players. And there's some situations where you got to give a man the ball and just let him do what he does, and you react to him. And I think Wemby is one of those players where you got to give him the ball and just you react to him. Okay, he do this well. Well, we got to put him on these positions. He don't do this well. Well, let's not do this. So, and again, like you said, they not trying to make the finals this year. It's obviously a long game thing with him. You think this is the guy you can build up on for the next, hopefully 15, 20 years of your franchise. So, 1 year doesn't make or break you. Like, you're not trying to make the finals this year. I do think the Spurs have pieces. Like Devin Vassell is a guy who I think could be a 20-point scorer this year. Jeremy Scohan, I think it's Scohan. If I'm pronouncing the name wrong, I'm sorry. He's a good piece. Keldon Johnson's a good piece. Like, they do have really, really good pieces. But yeah, you got to just give him the ball and just figure out what he does best.
Definitely, man. And also I think what you said, it's going to be about the other teammates trying to learn how to play with him, and that's going to come in time. And the best thing about Wemby, he's in the perfect situation because you've got Greg Popovich. You know what I'm saying? Like you got him, and he's going to be able to groom him because he knows what it's like to have those younger talents who have like superstar talent with him. Like he dealt with it with Tim Duncan. He dealt with it with Kawhi Leonard. Even though Kawhi didn't come in with this hype, obviously Kawhi was more groomed in the Spurs system, but he knows how to do these type of things. And I think what's also great for Pop is I think Wemby kind of gives him like a new fresh air when it comes to coaching. We know of like all the personal stuff that Pop has been through lately. He kind of felt like he didn't want to coach anymore. This is going to be something new for him, and you're going to get the best version of Pop, which is going to help Wemby out long term, man. So definitely interested to see how that's going to play out for the rest of the season. Last night, we had the debut of Dame Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm not calling those niggas freak show. Okay, that's not going to be called on this show. Terrible. Then the NBA needs to find a new name. I'm sorry, y'all need to come up with
a freak show. Ain't bad.
Freak show. Nah, man, it's too grown ass men.
Freak show, freak time, none of that, bro.
No. Actually, they call them freak time.
Yeah, freak time.
That's not it. Freak time. Yeah, that's not it, dog. That's not it, dog. NBA need to find something else, dog. But first game against Philadelphia 76ers, and we will get into that mess that is James Harden in a minute. They won 118-117. Giannis had 23 points, 13 rebounds, kind of like a real, okay night for Giannis. But Dame Lillard, man, showed up. 39 points, went 4-12 from 3-point, 9-20 from the field, man. He showed exactly what he is trying to bring to this team. Had 11 points in the fourth quarter. This is a time even where they jagged the 19-point lead. The Sixers came back, cut it down to single digits, eventually taking the lead. I think there's going to be some kinks that need to be worked out. But what's y'all first what y'all saw from Dame and Giannis first time?
Granted, I didn't see the fourth quarter because
I know
Wally's boy wanted to hang out, so I didn't actually see the fourth quarter. But I mean, I think Dame shows you, I guess, the potential of just at least what he came in to do. Now, granted, there were times, especially early on the second quarter, when like Tyrese Maxey went off, I think for 11, where he shows you like, yes, defensively there's going to be some problems, but at the same time, you got to deal with him offensively. And it was just refreshing down the stretch to not see Dame, not Dame, but not see Giannis fullback dive 4 straight times and just see what happens. So and then obviously it's like for Giannis, I mean, this is obviously the best player you've played with. I love Chris Middleton. I think Chris Middleton has been a great second option for him throughout his career. But Chris Middleton may be heading towards the other side of his career. So depending on him first of all, depending on any level of Chris Middleton, is not depending on Dame Lillard. It does not equal the same, especially this version of Chris Middleton doesn't equal Dame Lillard. Again, I think it's just a great thing for both of them. I mean, Dame obviously is 33 years old. Even seeing the Blazers 2 nights ago without Dame, I'm like, damn, Dame was playing with this. Like,
yeah,
you was playing with
exactly.
this, bro. You was playing with this. G, they was trying to kill you, brother. Like, now you got, Giannis, even like the pick and roll, like you saw him dumping it down, pick and roll, and just Giannis rolling to the rim and the high screen and roll, and Giannis being used more of as a roller. Like, yeah, I think I think it looked great. I think this is the team that, especially, I think this is a team that can win 55, 60 games. I don't think it'll take much for them to figure it out. As far as chemistry wise, I don't think it'll take much for them to figure it out. So I think it's a team that could win, like I said, 55 to 60 games this season.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I think now you go from having Chris Middleton as your closer to having Dame Lillard as your closer, and so that takes your game to a completely different level. And Dame last night was Dame, the Dame we see all the time. I think outside, I think a lot of people don't acknowledge it, but when you really sit down and look at it, like outside of Steph, he probably is the second best shooting point guard right now in the game. And so with everything he's able to do on the court, and you add that to a team with Giannis, it's gonna be nice. They look unstoppable, and then you're gonna have nice like this night where they come back in the fourth quarter and take a game that they probably should have lost and they end up winning. And so now we always talked about they're trying to foul Giannis in the fourth quarter. That's dead now because you got not only Middleton but you have Dame, who I think he was perfect with for free throw from the free throw line, but just an amazing shooter, an amazing closer on that team, and that's gonna make them like tough to beat.
Yeah, Pav definitely called me out. I did not watch the whole game yesterday, but I did actually circle back today. We were definitely drinking yesterday when the game was on. But from what I saw, with Dame, man, I liked what I saw. It's what you're gonna get from Dame Miller. I like what he said in the post game about Giannis and the coach, Adrian Griffin, telling him that they want him to take charge of what he wants to do with the basketball. Pretty much letting him play point guard and figure out what he wants to do in these situations. And I feel like that's what they're gonna be. That's what they've missed more than anything. I know everybody talks about the defense. And defense, you're going to lose without Drew Holiday. I get that. But in today's NFL, I'll say NFL, it was kind of the same thing in NFL. In today's kind of sports, really, if you take about NBA, NFL, it's about points. Like, if you just have an okay defense, you'll be fine. So they might not be top 10 defense like they've been the last couple years, but their offense is going to get better just by default. And so if they can stay in like the 13 to like 15 range, I think they'll be good. And as far as Chris, okay, we'll get to that in a minute. I think with Chris Middleton, like, you really, whatever you give him Chris Middleton at this point is good because I think he is as cooked as he's probably going to be right now. I don't think the Chris Middleton of old that you got the year they won doing the championship, I think that guy is gone because of injuries and things like that. I think it's more than anything it's going to be what's the bench going to do, what's the coaching going to do, because I still think there's a lot of question marks on that Milwaukee Bucks bench. I even looked at the starting lineup and I was like, Malik Beasley starting. Like, there's going to be some additions during the trade deadline and, probably doing waiver wire. I think will help the team out. But just off night one, I liked what I saw from Dame. He came in towards the end of the fourth quarter, heated up, got them to where they need to be to win that game and had a big fourth quarter. And that's what you want. And like you said, Pav, you didn't have Giannis doing, full back dive, trying to get to the basket. There was a lot of nasty offense we've seen from the Bucks these last 2 years that really showed how much they needed Dame. So I think that for the first game, I think it was great, but definitely there's a lot more to go from here. But Pat, what were you saying about the defense?
It's just like a statistic. Like, I don't think any team in a very long time has won a championship without having at least top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. So they still need to have a top 10 defense. And I think they still will have a top 10 defense. You do have Giannis, who, again, now he don't have to score 35 points to win certain games. Like last night, he scored 23 and had 13 rebounds. I don't know how many blocks and steals he had, but he had 23 and had 13 rebounds. And from what I did from what I did see, he was the primary defender, or he took the challenge of guarding Embiid a lot. I think that's what you need more from Giannis. Like, Giannis needs to go back more into defensive player of the year mode. Because again, like I said, you like Dame scored 39. He can do that shit every night. He averaged 32 last season. Now, granted, I know he missed the last 25 games, but I think that was more of just Portland wanting to lose games besides like outside of like Dame just not being able to play. He averaged the most points he's ever averaged in life last season. So like, you have a guy who can go out and get you 30 every night. Maybe, you need to be the 20, the 25, 13 and 2 guy. And also I think the thing that you can't discount with Dame is like I don't want to say I've never heard, but I feel like I've never heard Milwaukee as loud as it was yesterday. I think the energy that Dame gives to the crowd just by his shooting and by his play style was something that can't be discounted. And might be something that might serve huge for them in the playoffs, especially like, when you get like series, like game, like a pivotal game 5 and Dame comes down and shoots a 33-footer, like what they just does for the crowd and does for the energy of the team, I think can't be discounted.
Yeah, it definitely had like a playoff vibe. You can definitely see it was a playoff vibe up in there, man. So I definitely think that'll help. Dante, what you think about everything you saw?
Yeah, no, bro. I mean, again, at the end of the day, like I said, adding a player like Dame to a team that already has won the championship, it just takes it to a next level. And Milwaukee, that crowd, that stadium, like stadiums like that are like, they go into my theory that like for a lot of basketball teams, it's better off to have just 2 rings. It gives it a much rowdier college like atmosphere in the building. I know, the larger arenas like the Garden, United Center, Staples, they all got 3 rings. But that was just more so because those teams are, major attractions. But for a stadium like that in Milwaukee, like I said, those are perfect. And so, like, I'm, excited for the Clippers' new stadium because they got 2 rings. But, everything you saw last night, like you said, that type of atmosphere is going to be there, I feel like, every night now. And so that's going to be a team that come playoff time, you're not going to want to go there to play.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about the Knicks, like there's a 3 rings, but you can during the playoffs, if you have a good TV nigga or a good sound system, you feel like you're sitting in the Garden. Like that's how damn loud it be in the fucking Garden, man. Let's talk about the team that is the main team out here in Los Angeles. That is the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers won last night 100-95 over Kevin Durant and a whole bunch of Ralph baggers.
Don't do that. Don't
It's
do that.
Ralph baggers. Let's be real. It's Ralph baggers.
Don't
Ralph
do that.
baggers. Name the start lineup from last night.
I have no idea who the point guard
was.
I actually don't know. I can tell you. No, it's probably Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, Kevin Durant, Nurk, but I don't know who the other person was. Who was the starting point guard last night?
I think I'm gonna look at this shit right now. I think it was Eric Gordon, wasn't it?
That makes somebody easy. Grayson Allen, Kevin Durant, Josh Okogie, and Nurk.
Yeah, it was Kevin Durant, Josh Okogie, Nurkic, Eric Gordon, and Grayson Allen.
Okay, yeah exactly.
Okay, Kevin Durant and the Durantettes. That's who played last night. KD had 39 points, man. He had 11 rebounds. On the Lakers side, LeBron played the entire fourth quarter, had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Anthony Davis had 30 and 12. My question to y'all is, because we just saw what AD did on Wednesday. It was Tuesday. It was Tuesday where he goes out there and he has 17 points in the first half. Then you don't see this nigga score for the rest of the fucking game. The question here is, do they have an AD problem? Because I kind of feel like LeBron James' minutes shouldn't matter this much this late in his fucking career. And I know he went up there and he said the right things last night about, we don't give a shit about what, yeah, you're doing that because you're a good teammate, you're looking out for your squad. But there's a problem. Like LeBron was like, you might not have retired, but you thought about retirement for like 2 seconds because you get tired of carrying this nigga after y'all got swept by the fucking Nuggets. And what you also can't do after, Nuggets talk shit all summer, rightfully so. If you win a championship, you can do whatever fuck you want. That's what comes with winning a championship. Then y'all in the media day tomorrow, well, you talking a little bit, but me and Bron been having conversations, and we think it's going to be interesting next time we play him. LeBron did what he's supposed to do during the time he was allowed to play on Tuesday. What the fuck were you doing? And it's not a matter of talent. What pisses me off about AD is the talent is there. Like, if AD actually plays the way he's supposed to play every goddamn night, this wouldn't be an issue. So my question, I'm gonna go with Pat first. What do you think is the issue with Anthony Davis?
Here's what I'll say.
Is this ever gonna change?
Anthony Davis, I want to see all 3 of y'all faces as we speaking. I personally want to see faces. The thing about Anthony Davis is man's like last night he had 30 and 12. He had 30 and 12, I think 3 steals and 3 blocks. The issue is, brother, you built a team like since LeBron has come to the Lakers, everything has been to help LeBron James. No matter what we want to say, now maybe we may be expecting Anthony Davis to supplant himself as whatever, but still everything has been to help LeBron James. When you build a team around a 39, 38, 39-year-old superstar, that's why his minutes matter so much. You build a team around it, like they don't have a backup point guard. The backup point guard is literally LeBron James. They actually low-key don't have a point guard. They have D'Angelo Russell, who is a combo guard, Austin Reeves, who is a shooting guard, combo guard. They have Gabe Vincent, who is a combo guard. When you saw Anthony Davis have his most success, who did he have? Please tell me. Rajon Rondo. You had a bona fide one of the from the past 15 years of the NBA. Rondo was probably, I think we can all agree, if we talk about a point guard, probably a top 5, maybe if you don't agree top 5, definitely top 10 point guard of the past 15 years in NBA history.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he's top 5, top 15. So like you built the team around LeBron James, but we asked Anthony Davis to go to go superhuman. Like he's not a guy who's AD is not a guy who's going to get his own offense consistently. He needs help to get his own offense. Now, defensively is my thing with AD. Defensively, every night, AD should go out there and dominate. And when he doesn't do that, then I have issues. But offensively, I don't think. And then Darvin Ham say, I want AD to shoot 6 threes. The fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? What? When was he a good 3-point shooter? When did this happen? Have you seen something? Has he seen something in El Segundo that I haven't seen? So like I don't think you have an AD problem. You have the issue of you built the team around a 38-year-old superstar. So when you build it, and I love LeBron, favorite player ever, my GOAT. Shout out my man's Bron, but he's 38. When you build a team around a 38-year-old superstar, that's why his minutes matter so much.
I mean, what's your take on that, Dante?
He's right. Like the team has never been built around Anthony Davis, and then we asked Anthony Davis to do these things. And also, I think with the game against Denver, I understand he didn't score at all in the second half, and that is unacceptable. But we take for granted what he does on the defensive end of the floor and the amount of energy he exerts on the defensive side of the ball. And so, like, I want to see him do more in those games like that. But also, that's game 1. So I'm not tripping the same way everybody else is about that. Like, if this was fucking game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, then I would be like, all right, bro, defensive issues aside, you got to give me more. But I don't think there's an AD issue. I think, like I said, like Pavy said, you built this team around LeBron James, not Anthony Davis. So it's going to come to certain moments where it's not going to work out in his favor because it's just not built to. So I think, they can overcome that because he is a great player. And that's up to Darvin Ham. Like you said, him saying he wants him to shoot 6 threes is not conducive to Anthony Davis being his best. We've seen him at his best, and that's not it. He's not a good 3-point shooter. And when we see him force the issue and shooting threes like that, the Lakers are usually losing those games. So I agree with Pavy. I don't think it's a AD problem. It's just more the foundation around him.
In about 5 minutes, we're gonna bring Courtney on to talk baseball. So we're gonna about 5 minutes. She has a rant she's gonna get off. I'm really looking forward to it in about 5 minutes. But I'm gonna say this about Anthony Davis. Both of y'all give good points. But yes, they didn't build the team around him, but also they brought in Anthony Davis, so LeBron can move a little bit back to the background, play the background a little bit, actually play the role of a 39-year-old player. That's what they were expecting to do. I mean, even LeBron said himself during media day, this is Anthony Davis's team. So yes, I agree.
Hold on, Scott G. Bron said that, and then mid-game against Denver asked for more minutes. Which one is it? What are we doing?
That's why, because he know this nigga can't do it.
That's not why. At what point do we realize he just want to do this shit?
This
might just be the way he want to play basketball. He's been used to doing this for 21 years. Yes, LeBron James. Okay. He's been doing this for 21 years. He might want to do it for 22.
I get you, but in order for them to win a championship, I feel like, and we say this every year, and I do believe, yes, having a point guard helps. I'm not going to take that fact away. If they had a Rondo or somebody who was actually a point guard and not D'Angelo Russell, it would help a lot. But just energy-wise, he needs to be more active. Like sometimes AD just be on the court,
Scott,
and he not doing nothing.
Scott, you played basketball before, right?
Yeah, I wasn't good at it, but yeah, I played basketball.
Dante, you played basketball before, right?
Yes.
Have you ever played pickup basketball and didn't get the ball?
No.
No.
I'm saying, have you ever played pickup basketball and just like you didn't feel the ball enough? Pause. Like you didn't like nobody passed you the ball enough.
Oh yeah, depending on the team you on, yeah.
So you were just up there running up and down, right? Just
playing. You pretty much getting you running 3-line to 3-line at that point.
How much energy do you have?
Okay, now you comparing it to niggas playing a pickup game to
one
of the highest paid players in the sport.
No, I'm not, bro. It's like, especially if I'm a big, like if I'm a guard, it's different. I'm dribbling the ball up court. Like if I'm the point guard, I'm dribbling the ball up court. I'm feeling the leather, like I'm feeling good. If I'm a big, I have to depend on somebody else to get me the basketball. If all I'm doing is playing defense and like you said, running 3-point line, I might zone out a couple times. It might happen. Yeah. So and again, we talk about him having the 0 points. A lot of AD was on the court with them Gabe Vincent and fucking Austin Reeves minutes. So basically 2 combo guards who can't get you the ball. So now I saw a lot of AD being at the top of the key, acting like he fucking Jokic, trying to initiate offense through AD, and that's not what he's good at.
I'll say this as we move on. We got to move on. We on a little time crunch today. I will say this about Anthony Davis. They're not winning the fucking championship unless he actually plays the way he needs to play. Because I'm not trying to overreact about game 2 or 82. But if you look at the Western Conference, they beat the Suns last night with just KD out there by himself. Like there was no Bradley Beal, there was no Devin Booker, and they should have won. They should have kicked their ass. And not only did they only win by a couple, they had to come back from like 15 down. So if they want to win a championship, they gonna need Anthony Davis to not be taking games off. And I'm not saying he's just doing a regular season. That's not what we're looking. We need in the playoffs. And I think last year, for the most part, Anthony Davis had a good postseason. The Nuggets series, I thought AD played well. He just ran up into a brick wall, which just happens to be Nikola Jokic. You can't do nothing about that. But what you can do is shut the fuck up and not be talking shit, and then you get embarrassed on ring night to a nigga who's been arm wrestling cows all summer. Like that's just some shit that I don't want to see from Anthony Davis, man. We're gonna real quick, and we're gonna get Pavel out of here. What's your thoughts on James Harden, man? And we can, if there's anything else you said about James Harden,
76ers need to cut their losses, trade the man, because they still have a good basketball team. Like I think you even saw last night. Granted, it's like one game, but they still have a really good basketball team. You still have the MVP. Now, granted, Joel Embiid may feel like James Harden made him the MVP, but whatever. Regardless, you still have a really good basketball team. You have Tyrese Maxey, who I think could take a step this year. You have Kelly Oubre. You have PJ Tucker. You have Paul Reed. Yes, you have other people. There was a certain shooting guard I'm thinking about. I can't think of his name, but you have a good, solid basketball team, bro. If James Harden is going to be a distraction or he's not going to be, fully invested, he's taking up $40 million of your cap. $40 million is 2 players. Yeah. Like you can at least get 2 players to come in there and make it $20 million who can help your basketball team. Like if he's not going to be invested, you got to go out and get what you can, because again, you still have there's still no reason this Philly team can't win 50 games. Why can't they win 50 games? Why can't they be a 2nd or 3rd seed? They don't have to be bad just because this is like they don't have to be that way. And like I said, you still have a MVP in his prime. You have to do everything to maximize that for you, and also it'd be a good business decision for you to maximize that. So my thing with James Harden is like whatever it is, it feels like, I don't want to say, I don't know the man, I have no idea. It feels like he doesn't want to be there, or it may feel like he has worn out his welcome there. You have to go out and get what you can get, and see if you can move on with the season and at least salvage it, because I think you still have a good basketball team.
Yeah, I agree with that. You gotta get what you can, man. I don't know how much you're gonna get from that nigga. You might get like a 6-piece from Harold, some shit, nigga. I don't know, but that nigga's gotta go. I'm tired of James Harden and shit. I'm tired of talking about that nigga like just all together. But